The negative portrayals of African Americans impacts the interactions between African Americans and the American population. In the media, African Americans are portrayed as being mean, crackheads, lazy, always mad at something, or thugs. The coverage of African Americans is always negatively worded compared to their white counterparts. A prime example of this would be the Hurricane Katrina news coverage. Many news channels distorted the perception of African American victims compared to Caucasian victims. In a study done by Etnam and Rajecki, have chronicled a wide array of evidence demonstrating that media coverage of blacks disproportionately emphasizes violent crime and more likely to focus on a black suspect opposed to a white. Many news stations consistently link Black Americans with words like murder, armed robber, and gunman, while non-Black criminals remain unmentioned. The news can change their words ever so slightly to elicit a negative view of African Americans. For example, in articles in which either evacuee or refugee appeared, within 10 words of poor or Black. These headlines are prime examples of how wording can negatively represent someone. This is an example of some of the Hurricane Katrina coverage. In the photo above is a photo of a Black boy. It describes him as looting the food from the grocery store. Compared to the picture of the white family, it describes them as finding the food from a grocery store. Although both individuals are both victims of the devastating hurricane and both getting food for their survival, the African American is still presented in a negative light. This is because of the stereotypes that African Americans are robbers and thieves and as seen as criminals. It is rare to see on the news a positive story about an African American in general because crime stories that are associated with African Americans are more appealing. It is seen that more negative words are used to describe African Americans more than white Americans. White Americans are usually described by using positive words, while African Americans are described as being criminals. The way African Americans are viewed on paper and in media have led to devastating tragedies like Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Sandra Bland, and many more. This has also led to an increase of police brutality because African Americans are viewed as a threat. All in all, if we change the way we write about African Americans, we can contribute to representing them in a more positive light.